The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. I'm Tank Spencer. Jeremy Greene's alongside as always, and it is a Tuesday morning. Monday Night Football last night was a blast. If you didn't,
just win, baby.
If you didn't stay up to watch that, then you missed a hell of a show. Most of the game was, it was back and forth affair. It was tied with 7 minutes to go in the game, and then the floodgates opened up. And in the last few minutes of the game, it was a back and forth, just score fest.
So I would be remiss, and I believe, and I haven't seen him in the comments yet, but I have a feeling he's there. Kelvin Joyner and I have a question for you.
Okay.
Are you ready to believe in the Las Vegas Raiders?
Oh.
No. Well, you're fucking doing it wrong. Just straight up, you're fucking doing it wrong.
No, It was a good game. It was a good game. Derek Carr was out there throwing darts. I'll give him his due. He did not shit in his pants like I expected he would. He is a much better quarterback than Baker Mayfield. I'll give you that.
Drastically.
That's as far as I'm willing to go, though.
Well, you're wrong.
Okay. You
tell me what happened. You have literally hyped up the Baltimore Ravens all offseason long.
Yes.
You just watched the Raiders beat them. Granted, did it take some fluky shit to happen?
Yep.
It did. Did the Raiders do every absolute iota of it? Yes, they did. Transitive property. You can't believe one and not believe the other.
They're decent. They're a decent team. They're not a great team. They're not a top of the AFC team.
Well, they beat one of the ones that you think are, so that's a...
They also beat the Kansas City Chiefs last year.
This is week one of the season. It's just different.
Okay.
It's different. You had 2 weeks to prep, and I'm sure Ravens fans will say, well, you didn't have a running back. You had 2. One of them looked pretty good for a drive, and the other who was fine. You have a problem, and I have said this for an extended period of time. Lamar Jackson is not a good thrower of the football. I do not give a shit what his completion percentage numbers are, and now he's changed his mechanics. I don't know why. I don't know who was the impetus of that, but the way he throws the ball now is borderline impossible to catch. And if you noticed, Sammy Watkins was having a whale of a problem with it.
Right.
Because it's this tight little compact motion where the ball comes out at Mach 5 every time it comes out of his hands. There's no touch on the ball whatsoever. And that's going to be a problem.
I understand. But Lamar Jackson is still one of the most electric players in the NFL.
Electric, sure.
And
I don't disagree with you.
And that team's good. They're going to be good. Will they be in close battles like this? Sure. Will this be one of their 5 losses on the season? Yeah, absolutely. But I don't think it gets any worse than that. I still think they're the best team in that division. And I didn't see anything that swayed me.
I would have Pittsburgh ahead of them now. Yeah. It's close. I have Cleveland as the 3rd best team in that division, and I don't think they're all that close to the other 2.
Yeah.
I find it comical that you could watch Derek Carr go for almost 440 last night and not go, maybe I was wrong about the Raiders. They couldn't run a greasy peg up a cat's ass. Didn't matter. You knew where that ball was going half the time.
Yes.
Didn't matter. Elite corner on one side who wound up on Darren Waller more times than I would have ever imagined.
Darren Waller was targeted 19 times in that game.
And guess what? He's going to continue.
Yeah.
He's going to continue to be targeted like that. Darren Waller, first spicy hot take of after Tuesday of reaction of the year. Darren Waller's the #1 tight end in fantasy football. I should have said, when I said Travis Kelce, no matter what, I said Darren Waller wrong. Because he's the dude. And it doesn't matter what defense you put on him. It doesn't matter how aggressively you try to cover him. It doesn't matter. He'll just run by you. He did it time and time again last night.
Yep.
Oh, you're going to Darren Waller. Cool. What are you going to do about it? Oh, nothing? That's what I thought.
Evan Doyle says the Steelers are better than the rest of the AFC North.
Agreed.
Not there yet.
Another one you're wrong on. We should have called this show Tank is Wrong About a Series of Things for 1 solid hour.
Just like I was wrong on the Saints.
You were never high on them. You just weren't as low on them as I was. And if you remember, I backed off of that as the season went. As soon as Jameis Winston became the starter, I went, could be a playoff team.
We still got it on the board. That's going to be one I'm going to win.
Yeah, it'll be the one that you win.
That'll be the one I win this season. The Saints over the Falcons. Feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, you should. I must have come to work drunk that day.
No, I mean, the Raiders are a fine team. But fine ends up 9 wins. I don't think it's a playoff team. I still don't think they're a playoff team.
I do.
Because I don't know that Derek Carr can do this game in and game out.
Fun game.
Yeah.
Let's just look at the Raiders' schedule going forward, shall we? They play at the Steelers this week. That's a loss. Mm-hmm. Then they play the Dolphins. You think Tua can shoot out with that?
No, that's a win.
Yeah, neither do I. At the Chargers. I'm going to take the Raiders. I'll take the Raiders.
Okay.
In a shootout, I can't believe I'm getting ready to say what I'm about to say. I actually am not sure that I don't like the Raiders' defense better than I like the Chargers. Bears.
That's a win.
At the Broncos.
Win.
Eagles.
Win.
You noticing a trend here? Mm-hmm. Then they go at the Giants, the Chiefs, that's a loss, Bengals, at the Cowboys, Washington football team, who might have Ryan Fitzpatrick back by that time. This is a playoff team. The Las Vegas Raiders are a playoff team.
Okay.
And I'll level with you. Name me 7 teams better in the AFC.
7 teams better than them in the AFC.
Mm-hmm. There's one in the AFC East, it's the Buffalo Bills. I would say there's one definitively in the AFC North. It's hard for me to say the Ravens are better than them because they just fucking beat them. Mm-hmm. So there's one in the AFC North definitively. I would say there's one definitively in the AFC South, and there's one definitively in the AFC West. You tell me you feel great about any other team being definitively better than them after week 1.
Definitively better, no.
And I'll be honest with you, it's hard for me to say the Titans after they just got the piss beat out of them in their own home stadium.
Mm-hmm. I still believe in the Titans. I still believe in the Cleveland Browns. I think they're better than them. The Chargers, to me, I think overall will be a better team than them throughout the season.
And the Chargers' schedule is gruesome compared to theirs.
Is it?
By comparison.
Yeah.
By the way, we are drafting one of the competition for a college basketball drafts during this show. Thank you, Michael Whiteside, +2 to you for reminding
for warning us.
We had a fun-ass morning because nothing in the studio wanted to work. Mm-hmm. T-2 weeks until the new one.
Yes. Cannot wait. So
which one of these are we drafting, by the way?
The Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl League.
Pro Bowl.
Pro Bowl League. Enter the draft room. And
I'd have it on the screen, but, well, you remember the thing I said about technology? Yeah, technology's fun. Oh, armchair. Armchair +3.
What'd he say?
He did say Darren Waller would be the best tight end in fantasy. Mm-hmm. You even liked the tweet.
Yep, I did. Because I agree with him. I agreed with him. I thought that, there were several leagues where I had the opportunity to take Travis Kelce, and I went, you know what? Every time I've done that in a draft this year, I haven't liked my build on my team.
With Kelce?
Yeah.
I liked every one of mine.
I liked it better when I went running back first, waited for Waller in the second round, and then hammered running back after that.
Yeah, I've liked my build with Kelce. If I have Waller or Kelce, I've liked my build.
Yeah.
Or Kittle.
Yeah.
It's the ones where I don't have them that I look at it and go, uh-oh.
Are those also the ones that you took James Robinson and
I still feel fine about James Robinson.
Do you?
I do.
The fact that he only got like 5 carries?
They were down 27-7. What exactly did you think they were going to do? I will tell you this, there might be a mutiny in Jacksonville. I went down a rabbit hole after the show yesterday with some of my, for those of you that don't know, I'm pretty ingrained with the Florida State community because I've been a fan for a long time. I got some friends that are Gator Jacksonville Jaguar people. Florida State people tend to be Tampa Bay Buccaneer people. It's the state split on each side.
Yeah.
The Gator people tend to be with the Jaguars. There could be a mutiny in that building before it's all said and done. That's how aggressively bad it's going. Justin Harvey said Laviska disappointed me. Here's where you should have known that was going to happen. His name was Laviska Shenault, wide receiver, Jacksonville Jaguars. It's those last two words that really put a big duty pile right on his name. But he will be fine going forward, too. They're going to be behind a lot. They're going to see a lot of soft defense.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, I pick it 7 in this. The pick that I absolutely don't want. Hot.
Yeah,
but we'll be doing that as the show progresses.
Yeah, we've got the 8-team competition for a cause Pro Bowl best ball league that we are getting underway with as we speak. Hot Zach's mom up first in the draft. Why is it not letting me start the draft?
Because
There we go. There we go. All right. Anyhow, so, last night was real fun. And no, armchair, see, you're twisting my words again. I didn't say I don't like Travis Kelce. I said I didn't like my builds when I took Travis Kelce in the first round of the draft. Just liked it a little bit better when you waited on Darren Waller or George Kittle. Either way. Last night was a whole lot of fun, though. The overtime period with the interception from Derek Carr, which do you think bad throw? Was that a bad throw to Willie Snead? He should have taken some heat off of it, but
yeah.
He should have caught that
Willie
ball.
Snead's bad.
Yeah.
Willie Snead should not have a job in the NFL.
Right. I didn't think it was a bad throw.
For a long time.
I thought, like the announcers on the game said last night, you could have taken some off of it. It would have been easier to catch, but Willie Snead should have had his head on a swivel, being ready to catch that ball.
Evan Doyle in the comments has a really good point. He said, I completely forgot to bring this up. Are we going to talk about Notre Dame? We're going to talk about a couple college teams. One of them is apparently I think the AD for USC was listening to our show yesterday because I lost my shit about Clay Helton, and I think he got fired about 14 seconds after I said it.
Right.
Hey, good for you. Only took 3 years to figure that out. I've only been saying that for 36 months. Stop hiring the loyal, good-hearted, wonderful, been in the program, understands how we do things assistant. Because 9 times out of 10, they suck a lot.
Right.
And Clay Helton sucked a lot. By the way, I will bet you damn near anything you want to bet that there will be 3 names that are actually tied to that USC job. And they'll probably be in the order that I'm getting ready to say them.
Okay.
Bob Stoops, Luke Fickell, Chris Peterson. If I'm hiring it, it's Chris Peterson.
Why?
And I don't even fucking think about it. It's a no-doubter to me.
Okay. Why?
Chris Peterson's one of the 8 best coaches in college football, fact or fiction.
Yeah.
He's dying to get back in. Those were the exact words said to me. He's dying to get back in. But he doesn't want to take over some bullshit Colorado job. Well, USC qualifies for that. Bob Stoops, yeah, I don't mind that, but he's getting a little old.
Right.
And I don't know how committed you're going to be. That tends to not work when you bring in the guy late in life. It did with Pete Carroll, but and then Luke Fickell. I don't know how we would recruit on the West Coast. At USC, you have to dominate LA. USC and Miami are like the same job, but slightly different.
But is that not a job that recruits itself?
No, it's not. Clay Helton proved it.
Okay.
Clay Helton, I swear to you, I think he recruited off of a Rivals.com board.
Okay.
If I had $1 for every recruit that went to USC and just died,
right,
I would have $47. Doesn't sound like a lot, but that's 47 fucking guys.
Right.
Clay Helton didn't develop anybody. Chris Peterson did.
Right.
Chris Peterson's who I would hire for that job, and I wouldn't even think about it. Keyshawn Johnson said James Franklin. Of course he did.
James Franklin.
Of course he did.
Stop that.
James Franklin is that. You know, one of these days I'm going to understand what it is about James Franklin that people look at and go, yeah, he's great. He's never had a half-assed offense. And he's had Miles Sanders, Saquon Barkley, Chris Godwin, and you've never been in the top 40 in college football in offense.
Right. Oh,
because you can't recruit quarterbacks.
It's your pick, by the way. Go ahead and take Travis Kelce.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
You got 35 seconds. Clay Helton should have been gone a long time ago from USC, in my opinion. And, USC is a heritage job. They're gonna go after a big name. I saw a lot of the memes coming out yesterday of, it's time for Urban Meyer to start getting some headaches and decide he needs to go back to college and take that job.
Kevin Vick.
Damn it. He sniped Jonathan Taylor from you?
He sniped Darren Waller from me. I was going to take them both.
Oh, hell. He was going to go back-to-back tight
Damn
ends.
it. Oh, shit.
Clay Helton, he never could get it going at USC. I mean, the 42-28 loss to Stanford was embarrassing. You were a 17-point favorite in that game? No, that was the Colorado
17
spread.
and a half. No, that's 17.
Was it? Mm-hmm. Okay. You were a heavy favorite in that game, and you got dusted.
Alex Sanders said, I've had this funny feeling that Hugh Freeze at USC for a long time. No shot. There is no shot of that, and I'll tell you why. I love Hugh Freeze, and I think he should 100% be a Power 5 head coach.
That attitude.
One, the money, you're not going to be able to get – the money's not going to be a deal. They have Jerry Falwell money at Liberty. So if he just gets a bigger offer, Jerry Falwell can say, here, we can do this. Hugh Freeze has never recruited on the West Coast. Mm-hmm. And here's why USC won't call him. The Steve Sarkisian thing still lingers around that program. Because old Sark liked to get liquored up and say shit to people. Hugh Freeze did some nefarious things too. So whoever they hire is going to be squeaky clean.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's ultimately going to. It will either be Luke Fickell or Chris Peterson, in my opinion.
And they're going to fit that. They're going to fit that West Coast style, persona-wise. I don't think I could see Hugh Freeze being the head coach of a West Coast team like that. He belongs in the SEC.
Hugh Freeze?
Yeah.
I don't know that he's going to get a shot in the SEC. I've long said I think his next job's in the ACC.
In the ACC?
I think it's in the same state.
At Virginia?
Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech.
I know they're 2-0. Mm-hmm. I don't care.
They are 2-0.
Give it time.
They're in the top 25.
Give it time.
Virginia, I could see that because I don't think Bronco Mendenhall is going to be around.
Hold on, we got a new one in the comments. Deluxe Craying Plays. I think I said that right. We're like an AA meeting for sports, so
hey.
He said Josh Jacobs and Brandon Cooks for Mike Evans. If you're getting the good Lord, what's that? I want to be on the Josh Jacobs side of that.
Yeah.
I still believe in Josh Jacobs. I know yesterday didn't go exactly. And I'll be honest with you, one of my biggest takeaways from last night, let me get back to the carry split. It was still almost 2-1 Josh Jacobs, which is what I thought it would be. They got away from the run because they figured out they could throw on Baltimore, and they couldn't run.
Right.
Moving forward, they play a lot of soft run defenses. I want the Josh Jacobs side of that. And I'll be honest with you, I like Brandon Cooks markedly more after Sunday than I did before. I still don't love him.
Right.
But I think he'll at least be playable.
Right.
Especially when they play the Jacksonville Jaguars.
USC paid $12 million in the buyout to get Clay Helton out of town. Still think they should have swallowed that frog 3 years ago. But it is what it is. And now Dante Williams, who's been pretty much a journeyman assistant around the Pac-12. I think he's been at like 4 Pac-12 schools or something like that. He joined USC last year and was made the associate head coach because everybody knew. The thing I can't wrap my head around with the UCLA program is, why does this happen? Why do they keep doing this over and over and over again, of knowing they need to fire a coach and then letting him fall on his face and then have to make the change mid-season? I don't understand that.
Well, the thing with Clay Helton is that every person I've ever talked to in the LA area has said he is the nicest guy on planet Earth. So there are a lot of people in the athletic department that like him. If you had embarrassed him the way you did Lane Kiffin, you would have had some backlash. You could have lost some recruits. So, I mean, you got to handle it delicately. But that's why you don't ever hire the guy.
Yeah.
That's why you don't make this hire. I said it the day they hired him. You will live to regret this, I promise you, because you went the opposite direction. You replaced Sarkisian with the nicest assistant in the world. Well, bully for you. You had Lane Kiffin, who was a dick.
Right.
Sarkisian, who was a drunk. And then you brought in Clay Helton, who was just a super nice guy. Stop overcorrecting. It's not that friggin' difficult.
Yeah. What is the week in which Urban Meyer will have heart palpitations, says Victor Shelton? Week 3.
He's going to lose his mind before long.
He'll have some kind of brain aneurysm.
I would say
He'll
the
have
Urban Meyer talk is going to start getting loud when they're 0-8 and haven't been competitive with a team yet. When they get the I think that's later in the season. Let me look at Jacksonville's schedule. I know they play the Jets at some point, and they are going to get. That's later in the season. They are going to get their fucking ass handed to them by the Jets. If Tyrod Taylor can throw on you to that level by that line, I pity to think what Zach Wilson's going to do to you. By the way, they play the Broncos this week. Just if you were curious, Teddy Bridgewater.
All of them.
I like Teddy this many.
Right. Fire them all up. Teddy
I also
Bridgewater.
like KJ Hamler.
KJ Hamler. Tim Patrick. You going to play him?
Less interested in Tim Patrick. Very interested in KJ Hamler.
In KJ Hamler. And the defense. The Denver Broncos defense as well. That could get ugly, and I could see Trevor being, 6 sacks? 6 to 8 sacks in that game for the Denver Broncos defense. That's going to be the cheat code all year long in fantasy football. If you have if you have players that are playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, just fire them up.
Yeah, KJ Hamler is going to be a cheat code too with no Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
And his plastic bones that somehow didn't break.
Which, thank God for that. Thank God for that.
Oh, shit. I totally forgot we were drafting. Hey, the
What'd you
computer's
do?
do? doing a better job drafting for me than I'm doing for myself.
Joe Mixon,
I got
Saquon
Saquon Barkley in the 3rd round. I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, well, you're wrong.
After one week of getting bit on that, I'm done. Because now it's the countdown to the next injury for me, for Saquon.
I'm not worried about that at all.
Really?
In a best ball, he's going to have good weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, straight up, he's going to have good weeks. I also got Josh Allen.
Oh, damn it, Patrick Holt. I was hoping Josh Jacobs was going to fall back to me.
Well, didn't go your way.
Did not go my way.
Jason Trump, it's 18. This is a small one of our charity leagues.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the competition for a cause where...
By the way, we're doing those on DraftKings. And we only had 3 people in this week.
Yep.
Frankly, I'm going to want that number to be higher. Because the more of you play, the more time I put into it, and the more monies I make. So if we could do that, that'd be cool.
The more monies you make?
The more monies. I look back at some of my... we hadn't done that yet. I did a mock-up of my DraftKings player pool from last week.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Some of them went very good. Like, I don't know, every quarterback except the bottom 2.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers didn't do no favors to nobody.
He was a big duty ball. But the first 3, just, okay, that went fine. McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Melvin Gordon, Corey Davis. We had some good ones. And then we had a Brandon Ayuk where I said Deebo Samuel wrong.
Aww.
And I'm going to have to work to reclaim my title as tight end whisperer this week because that didn't go well at all.
Yeah. Speaking of fantasy football, you want to talk about the waiver wire?
Yep. Desert Dog asked in the comments this week, Tyson Williams or Elijah Mitchell. First of all, Desert Dog, AA meeting for sports.
Welcome, Desert.
I'm going to say Elijah Mitchell. Elijah Mitchell's the 2 in San Francisco, and I think he's the 2 moving forward. He is clearly slotted ahead of Trey Sherman.
Yeah.
Mostert's out for 8 weeks. Here's my fear with Tyson Williams. I think he's going to be the change of pace back, but I think he's going to run behind Lat Murray. I mean, just look at what happened last night.
The first drive was phenomenal. They handed Tyson Williams the ball 3 times, and he averaged 17 yards a carry in that first drive, and it looked amazing, which I think is, I was so happy for him because it's a great story of a guy that has bounced around since his college days trying to find a job, and he was, the 4 in this running back room a week and a half ago? And now he ends up as the guy, and then they went away from it. And Latavius Murray actually outcarried him for the rest of the game.
And you got to think about this. Lat Murray's only been in the building for less than a week.
Yes.
And you still out-touched him. The way I think this is going to go moving forward is that Latavius Murray will be the starter. You'll bring in Tyson Williams as the change of pace back, the receiving back. And Baltimore does not throw the ball to running backs very often, so just put that in your brain of they don't do that a lot. Then you're going to have I could easily see John Harbaugh throwing a knife between Le'Veon Bell and Devonta Freeman and seeing which one comes out alive. Just that they get third-team reps in practice. Whichever one's the best is the one that plays, and they roll that way. I think it will be Le'Veon Bell. Devonta Freeman's looked cooked for years.
Right.
And, I mean, Lev is too. That's going to be a small – whoever the 3 is going to be a small role. Tyson Williams is rosterable in you told me this one time. How do I get this damn auto draft thing off? Oh, there it is. I figured it out. I have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Son of a bitch!
Tyson Williams is rosterable in what?
Every league.
Tyson
Williams is rosterable in every league. He will have a role. I would say he's good for probably 10 to 12 touches a game. Elijah Mitchell's going to be the guy in San Francisco. And I'll level with you, I won't be shocked if Trey Sherman's not the backup.
I think that's probably how that goes.
There's a lot. I don't think you understand what I'm saying. I won't be shocked if Trey Sherman is not the backup.
Oh.
I won't be shocked if it's JaMychal Hasty. 3 guys were up this week.
Yeah.
Trey Sherman wasn't one of them. And I understand there are things that go into that. I get that.
Right. Him being a healthy scratch is a head scratcher a little bit. I think to a couple of years ago, Ronald Jones's rookie year. Remember, there was all the hype of him coming in. I think we took him in the 3rd round of the draft, and there was a lot of hype for Ronald Jones, and then he ended up being a healthy scratch for like 3 weeks, and then was never really integrated into the offense until like week 8 or something. That could be the path that they go down with Trey Sherman. I don't know. I'm not as low on Trey Sherman as you are. And I think he could be a decent.
I have been since the minute they drafted him because I think he fits in that system like I fit into a bikini. He's not a one-cut runner. It's not who he is.
Right. No, he's a power runner.
Yeah, he doesn't fit in that system. I said that was a wasted pick when we covered the draft live on draft day. It's a wasted pick. I had Trey Sherman as a 6th-round pick. To be honest with you, I had Elijah Mitchell ahead of him. So, I mean, it just is what it is. Elijah Mitchell's the guy Elijah Mitchell's my favorite pickup of the week.
Okay. Elijah Mitchell is your favorite pickup of the week. Let me see here. Let me pull up my list and see who I put down as my favorite pickup.
Now, I say that on the pretense that some smart individual in your league picked up Latavius Murray. Right. If Latavius Murray was dropped and he's still sitting on waivers,
there's no way
you should do that.
See, I didn't even have Tyson Williams on my list because if you're in a somewhat sharp league, somebody has picked him up already.
Tyson Williams?
Elijah Mitchell's the same way.
Elijah Mitchell.
In a deeper league.
Well, you haven't had the chance because he's been on waivers. Unless you're a genius and picked him up in the. And I don't even know how you would have done that because Mostert started. You knew Elijah Mitchell was up, but I mean he's 6% owned. So I'm not that worried about that.
I guess I'm probably spoiled because I'm in several leagues with 49ers fans. Who every 49ers running back has been kept. Or was not even on the waiver wire for this week.
Could be.
So, that's to say, I mean, yeah, I will agree with you. Elijah Mitchell, he's the number 1. I think at this point, if you're in a league where you have to spend fab dollars, are you spending $60,000, 65% on him?
No, God, no. I don't spend
As
that
a
much
number one running back?
I don't spend that much on anybody. Still San Francisco. At the end of the day, always temper your expectations because it's still San Francisco. They're going to run more than one back, and if one of them gets hot, he's going to be a big turd in your lineup. So just know that.
So what would your percentage be on how much fab you should spend on
20.
him? 20%?
I don't shoot my whole roll after 1 week.
Yeah.
Because there are going to be guys that are fantasy relevant. Come up every week of the year. Mm-hmm. I would say I'm at probably 20% for Elijah Moore.
Okay.
And for me, that's a lot.
I could very well see that. Deeper leagues, Kenny Gainwell. He scored a touchdown this week.
That's not for deeper leagues. That's every league. Kenny
You think
Gainwell
so?
should be owned in every league.
Okay. Well, I mean, he only had, 6 touches in the game? Had like 39 yards, scored a touchdown on a reception. Mm-hmm. I was thinking more of anything a backup for Miles Sanders.
He's the handcuff for Miles. If you have Miles Sanders, he becomes really relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look at I have too many things pulled up on my computer, and it's going the speed of smell.
Is this pertaining to Kenny Gainwell?
Mm-hmm.
His official stat line was 9 carries, 2 catches, 37 yards. I think he only had 5 yards receiving, but he did get into the end zone in his first game. I could see him, I could see his usage growing as the season progresses. A lot of people are down on Miles Sanders. I like Miles Sanders. I think he's a really good back. He's got good hands, speed's good. I liked him when he was at Penn State. He was the one that took over for Saquon Barkley, and everybody went, "Oh, how are they going to replace him?" Miles Sanders came in and did a pretty damn good job of replacing Saquon Barkley. And then he goes to the Philadelphia Eagles, and he's had injury issues. That's a no-brainer. But I still think he's a good, well-rounded back that is going to have a lot of value this year.
How many
I just
snaps
drafted him in the
snaps
6th round of the best ball league.
How many snaps did Kenny Gainwell play?
How many snaps?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, 33.
25. Miles Sanders played 47. They're the only. Boston Scott played 2.
2 snaps.
He played 2. All those people kept asking me, "Are you going to draft Boston Scott?"
It's the deep sleeper. No, because Kenny Gainwell, he was no doubt in the preseason the second best running back on that team to me. And the fact that they gave him some touches and some important touches in that game, I think he's going to have a role, but especially if something happens to Miles Sanders. I know he sucks. I know he's 100 years old, but Mark Ingram's available in a lot of leagues. He got 26 carries just by volume. He only had 3 yards a carry, but still, he got into the end zone at 85 yards. Houston sucks, but if that's the guy they believe in, then he might be worth something on the waiver wire.
All right, I want to play a fun game with you. Four running backs for the Texans played.
Yep.
There were a combined 42, 78. There were a combined 80 snaps between the running back.
Okay.
Who got what?
Well, I would say Mark Ingram was one.
Of 80 plus snaps, how many did he play?
45.
36. He played 36. David Johnson played 22. Phillip Lindsay played 20. Rex Burkhead played 10. I'm good. I'll pass.
On everything?
Here's the thing. You got to think, the Houston Texans are never going to be ahead like that again.
This is true.
So they're not going to be salting away the clock.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good on Mark Ingram. I mean, I've got him at, I think he's 8 at running back for me this week. I have him behind Tony Jones. I have him behind Gainwell and Mitchell and all the ones that we've already talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I've got him behind anybody else. God, running back is disgusting in a hurry. I've got him behind Carlos Hyde, who I don't like want to run out and go get. But
right.
I guess he could be a thing. For me, if I need a running back, I'm going Elijah Mitchell 1, Kenny Gainwell 2, and I'm not really expecting any of these guys to be impact players beyond that.
Right. I think that's the case for Mark Ingram, but I mean, injuries and whatnot, you don't know. You could need him at some point, although by the end of the season, he'll probably be dead, football-wise.
Yeah, if I'm holding a Houston Texans running back, it's Philip Lindsay. Because I think eventually the two old guys are going to break, and it's going to be Philip Lindsay all by his little lonesome.
Yeah.
Well, him and Rex Burkhead, who I'm convinced his bones are made of the same thing that Jerry Jeudy's are made of.
Wide receivers on the waiver wire. Sterling Shepard's available in a lot of leagues.
He shouldn't be.
I think he's like 57% owned.
32.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now my numbers are industry numbers. They're not independent to a website.
Yeah.
We have so many different websites now that I don't use.
It's hard to keep up.
Yeah, Fantasy Pros. It's one of the only services that I pay for.
Oh, does it give you the average for
yes.
all the? Okay.
32% on composite across all sites.
All right, so 32.
He's not my one, just so you know.
Yeah. So 32% owned Sterling Shepard. I mean, he had 7 catches, 9 targets, 113 yards, and a touchdown for the New York Giants. The one thing that takes the shine off of Sterling, yeah, I did it. Shut up. Is that Evan Ingram didn't play. And Evan Ingram was the most targeted guy in that offense last year, and I think Daniel Jones will probably keep targeting him the most. I think that's the reason that Sterling Shepard had the big share that he did. But there again, he was 2 targets more than Slayton, 3 targets more than Kenny Golladay. And I think that will change as the season goes on and Daniel Jones gets more comfortable with Kenny Golladay especially. Although Kenny's going to get the number 1 coverage. And that helps out Sterling Shepard. So he may be a guy that, that you need to go out and get.
Fun story.
Yep.
How many receivers on the Giants played more snaps than Sterling Shepard on Sunday?
1.
It was 0.
Okay.
He played more snaps than everybody. But Kadarius Toney played 5.
Woohoo! 5 whole snaps.
2 catches for about the length of my wiener. Good first-round pick, Dave Gettleman.
Yeah, it's not good. So Sterling Shepard, I think he's my number 1 wide receiver just based on volume. Who's your number 1 for the week?
My number 1 for the week is KJ Hamler.
Okay.
With no Jerry Jeudy, somebody's going to have to take the top off this defense. Mm-hmm. Because here's the thing. Tim Patrick is not a burner. Good receiver, but he's not, I don't think he'll be the deep guy. KJ Hamler is the one that's going to scare you deep. Mm-hmm. And I like Tim Patrick. He would be in my top 3 or 4. Here's my problem with Tim Patrick. I don't know how many receivers can be relevant on this team. Mm-hmm. With no Jeudy, that makes Cortland Sutton the definitive 1. I would say it makes Tim Patrick the definitive 2, KJ Hamler the definitive deep threat, and you still got to deal with Noah Fant.
Yeah.
I think KJ Hamler has a much higher ceiling than any of the rest of them do.
I would agree with that.
Hamler he only played 24 snaps. Patrick played markedly more.
Okay.
2 wide receiver sets, he'll be out there. I just like the upside of Hamler. Mm-hmm. And I look at Van Jefferson in much the same way. I don't think you're going to play a ton of snaps, but when you're on the field, you're a guy that everybody has to pay attention to.
All right, it is your pick in the Best Ball League Competition for a Cause. Thanks again to everybody who gave to the Competition for a Cause, by the way. Proceeds from that will be going to Eblin Charities St. Nicholas Project that helps provide Christmas gifts to needy families in our area. 3,000 kids last year had a better Christmas because of the St. Nicholas Project from Eblin Charities, and we are happy to be teamed up with them for Competition for a Cause. Also, our DraftKings Winner Take Half contest that we will be running each and every week. There's a $5 contest and a $20 contest, and just as it says, winner takes half. Half of it goes to the Eblin Charity St. Nicholas Project. Half of it will go to your DraftKings account. So get in on all of those contests each and every week of the NFL season with us. Competition for a Cause, proudly sponsored by our lovely sponsors, Wicked Weed Brewing, Ingles Supermarkets, and Clarissa Marshall of eXp Realty. You can check her out online, by the way, if you need to buy or sell a house at clarissasellswnc.com. Waiver wire this week as far as wide receivers are concerned. We already talked about Sterling Shepard. When you score 2 touchdowns in week 1, people are going to be heavy on you on the waiver wire. Christian Kirk and Zach Pascal. Those are 2 that they hit the end zone twice this week. Zach Pascal is going to get, as long as T.Y. Helton is out, and we don't know how long he's going to be out. He's out indefinitely.
Every single year with Zach Pascal.
Yes, we do. He is usable when he gets targets, and then T.Y. Helton comes back and he disappears. Or Michael Pittman starts catching fire, and Zach Pascal is not anything to be done with. I feel like we do the same thing every year with Christian Kirk, too. Although this year I think it could be a little bit different.
I do, too, because I'm completely out on Christian Kirk.
Really?
I'm not running to do it. I shouldn't have said that way. I'm not completely out on it. If you want to do it, more power to you. I think Rondale Moore eventually will be the receiver that you want. Here's a stat that almost blew my mind, and I pulled this while we were doing the prep for the show. How many receivers took snaps for the Arizona Cardinals in week 1?
7.
It was 4.
Really?
No team in the NFL had less.
Wow.
The Arizona Cardinals had 4 receivers take snaps.
Okay.
So it tells me that they all have fantasy relevance. If you're going to throw that much, and every one of them played 20 snaps or more. Rondale Moore was the lowest at 20. He played 20. Christian Kirk played 39. A.J. Greene was 55. DeAndre Hopkins was 61.
Okay.
So they'll all have a relevance. One of the things I think should at least be acknowledged is that this game was pretty out of hand for an extended part of it. So I think Rondale Moore will eventually be the guy. Steady driving them said, let's go Bengals. I'm good. I'm very happy for – I have to reaffirm this. I would love for the Bengals to be good.
Yep.
I want them to be good. I would love to be wrong. I didn't change not one iota of what I thought about the Bengals based on Sunday. I did change what I think about the Vikings.
Yes.
The Vikings suck this many.
Much.
116 penalty yards on 12 penalties. That is bad.
Yeah.
But I did think of you. I thought of Evan Doyle. I thought of several of you. I was very happy for your win that you got a week 1 win. And frankly, I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
There are certain teams I don't hope I'm wrong on. I don't hope I'm wrong on the Cleveland Browns. I hope the Cleveland Browns go 0-27 because I absolutely despise Baker Mayfield, and I'm never going to back off of that. I don't have a qualm with the Bengals. There's always been this misnomer that I had like a vendetta against them. No, I feel sorry for them because I look at the Bengals the same way I look at my Jets. You have good fans. Some are a little delusional, and by a little I mean about as much as the Vikings suck. But I would love for them to be good for the Scott Cutshaws and the Evan Doyles and the good, wholesome, true blue Cincinnati Bengals fans. I would love for you to be good.
Yeah.
And I will say your line was a little bit better against the worst pass rush in the NFL than I thought it would be. That was not meant to be a jab.
Much. Jason Trump and Steady dropping them, talking about A.J. Greene in the comments. We went through this last year in Cincinnati.
His snap count's going to go down. He's not going to be that close to DeAndre Hopkins.
It was the one concern that I had about him coming in. Like, was last year what we saw in Cincinnati, is that really what A.J. Greene is now? And he may be. He may just be the decoy. Part of the problem last year was Joe Burrow kept trying to feed him, and he wasn't catching anything. And they were off target. It was just, they weren't on the same page. Maybe there's some of that going on with Kyler Murray, but I don't know. I want him to be great. Obviously, he's a Georgia Bulldog, and I, pulled for him when he was in college. And my best friend, was a Cincinnati Bengals fan, and so I pulled for him for that reason as well. I don't know what to think about it. I was very disappointed in week 1 to see that, even though he was targeted, 6 times, he only came down with 3 of the balls.
His snap count's going to go down. Rondale Moore's is going to go up.
Yeah.
He'll be more of A.J. Greene is, in my opinion, the 4 among receivers for the Arizona Cardinals. If you have him on a roster, he is droppable. Mm-hmm. I would rather have Christian Kirk or Rondale Moore.
I would agree with that. I was wondering what the Christian Kirk role was going to look like, and I don't think it's changed.
It's exactly what I thought it was.
Plus, by the way, go get Christian Kirk, if only for the next 2 weeks, because they got Minnesota next, and then they get Jacksonville.
Hot.
Yeah. I think Christian Kirk could have 6 touchdowns by the end of week 3. And then he will regress to the mean, and you may not use him much. Jaylen Rager scored a touchdown this week. 6 catches, 49 yards. Not a bad stat line for him. You don't believe in Jalen Hurts at all after that, and you don't think that even as the only receiver on his team, he's going to have any value?
Nope.
Why?
Fact or fiction, Jalen Hurts has had the best game he'll have all year.
I'm going to say fiction.
I'm going to say you are drunk. I'm going to say you are, because here's the thing. That's the best game he's had in his career by a lot.
Uh-huh.
It's the best game he's had all year. Or it's the best game he's had in 2 years, excuse me. And I just look at what's coming.
4 games he started now?
5.
5 games.
But I look at what's coming. 49ers, Cowboys, Chiefs, at the Panthers, Buccaneers, Raiders. You tell me who they're going to beat there. Mm-hmm. You tell me who they're going to beat there.
I understand.
And I'll more than happily listen to you. I will think you're drunk
There's
as hell.
no one. There's not another winnable game in that stretch.
Huzzah.
But there are points to be had. And Jaylen Rager could be a usable piece on a really bad team.
There's just so many guys I would rather throw the dart on.
Like?
Every receiver I've mentioned so far.
Okay.
All of them. Jaylen Rager played, 70% of snaps. Mm-hmm. Quez Watkins is infringing more than I planned on. Devonta Smith is the no doubt one. Mm-hmm. I don't see, and you got 2 tight ends. I still believe in Zach Ertz. I still believe in, I believe in Ertz more than Goddard, even though Goddard scored. Mm-hmm. I don't see a 4th wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles being relevant.
Yeah.
I don't buy it.
Okay.
I mean, I want you to think about this. In a game they won 32-6, Jalen Hurts threw 35 times. Mm-hmm. You scored that many points, he threw 35 times. And the leading receiver had 71 yards. It's touchdown dependent. I'm good. I'll pass on all of that.
You're good on that. Terrace Marshall. I know I don't think he played a lot. I don't think he had a big snap share. I'm not sure what it was. But he did get 6 targets. It felt like at times Sam was trying to feed him the ball. They had
52 offensive snaps.
Okay.
Or no, that's not right. They had, hold on, mathing's hard. They had 65 offensive snaps. How many did Terrace Marshall play?
35.
That's exactly right. Terrace Marshall's ownable.
So he played half the snaps.
He's ownable, and I'll be honest with you, Kevin Vick. I did it on purpose. 100% I did it on purpose. I took Robbie Anderson right in front of me.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what, that's for your little double hitter right in front of me in the first 2 rounds. I didn't even really want him. I just did it to be a dick. That's a lie. I did want him. He belonged right there. But.
Mm-hmm. So what were you saying before that?
Well, Terrace Marshall's ownable to me in every short of really small fantasy formats. If you're in a 12-team league, he's ownable.
Okay.
I have him as wide receiver 40-something moving forward.
All right, then.
He's not one that I'm not breaking my neck to go get him this week, but I got him at 6.
Yeah. And
he's very lowly owned. The thing about him is, like, Zach
5.
Pascal's ahead of him to me. Because Pascal's going to get workload. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of people. What percent owned do you think Zach Pascal is right now?
2.5.
Too flat.
Too flat. I had a feeling it would be close. 2.5% owned. And after this week, it'll probably go to 17.
I was going to say 7. You added a team that I wasn't planning on putting in there.
But this is what we do. Week 1 is always the funniest time for me in fantasy football, watching the waiver wire of just everybody freaks out about what they saw in week 1 and doesn't consider how's that going to look the rest of the season. Okay, Zach Pascal had 2 touchdowns in week 1. How many touchdowns do you think he ends the season with? 4? Maybe? You think it's a little higher than that?
Who are we talking
Zach Pascal. Had 2 touchdowns this week.
It could be higher than that. He always has those. When his number's called, he always seems to perform. Mm-hmm. How many times has he been? It's been 2 years in a row. I know the answer to this. Has he been a relevant player come fantasy playoff time because somebody got hurt and now he's the guy?
Yep. I don't know. Tight ends. How about tight ends? Or do you have any more receivers to talk about?
I have a few.
Okay.
Doing 5 things at one time is fun.
Right.
Let's see. Back to that. Guys, just to know the name. I've already mentioned KJ Hamler. That's one. Brian Edwards. Brian Edwards got a. I legitimately think he's probably the 2B. Mm-hmm. Him and Henry Ruggs.
Okay.
Hunter Renfrow, he's the slot guy. What do you fucking do? I could care less about that.
Right.
Amon St. Brown, and a guy that. This is a guy that I'm going to pick up in every league. I'm not going to use waiver priority, but I'm going to add him.
Okay.
Cordaro Patterson.
He does have flex ability.
And he's playing running back. Mm-hmm. Just straight up, he's playing running back. We are finally getting what we have always asked for, which is a season of Cordaro Patterson playing running back. He can't run a route to save his life.
Right.
He's fast as hell, and he's so good with the ball in his hands. Mm-hmm. He's playing running back for the Atlanta Falcons. If something happened to Mike Davis, he would be the number 1 running back of the Atlanta Falcons. And nobody's talking about him anywhere. If you're in a half point per carry, holy shit. You remember how big a pain in the ass Taysom Hill was last year because he was a tight end and a quarterback?
Right.
That could be Cordaro Patterson this week. Or this year. Just remember I said that. If something happens to Mike Davis, that's going to be the guy that you look at everybody in your league that has him and go, fuck that guy.
Yeah. I was going to say he's going to be a pain in the ass.
100%.
To Mike Davis owners.
100%.
Because Cordaro Patterson has that breakaway speed that he could hit some big ones. Now,
and he's not bad as a receiver out of the backfield.
Right. Now, the fact that the Atlanta Falcons suck so much is going to be a problem because I don't know that they're going to run the ball a whole lot.
Think about what you just said. What did I just say about him?
That he can catch the ball out of the backfield.
There you go.
Yeah. Mike Davis is not the pass catching back.
He can do it. He's just not as.
But he's not going to be the go-to. If they're going to run a pass play out of the backfield, it's probably going to be Cordaro Patterson.
More than it would be Mike Davis. Yes.
Exactly. That was my point.
Now here's my fun question about Cordaro Patterson. Mm-hmm. He only played 30% of the snaps and was reasonably effective.
Yeah.
If he ever got to 60%, which I don't know that he ever would do, the other part of this, how many running backs touched the field for the Atlanta Falcons?
None.
2. It was
really?
2. It was Mike Davis and Cordaro Patterson. That's it.
Okay. How about tight ends this week?
Cole Kmet. I have said that name so many times. He ran as the one, as I told you he was going to.
Yep.
I had 100 people say, you're stupid. He's not even the one. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Check snap counts. Check snap counts at the end of the year. It was always this way. It was always going to be this way. They have draft capital wrapped up in him, and frankly, he's just better. He's just the better of the two. I like Cole Kmet. I have Cole Kmet as a back-end tight end 1.
Okay. Cole Kmet, back-end tight end 1. All right.
Let's see. Number of targets to tight ends in week 1 for the Chicago Bears.
8.
9. How'd it break down?
Cole Kmet got 6.
Cole Kmet got 7.
7.
7-2.
Okay.
And what do bad quarterbacks and young quarterbacks have in common? They love to lean on tight ends, especially when your second receiver is Darnell Mooney.
They do love to lean on their tight ends. I don't know.
I actually have a couple tight ends I like.
Gerald Everett. Gerald Everett would be one because
Gerald Everett's borderline so high owned that I can't. Almost 38% composite.
That's not.
With the composite, I have to be careful because on some sites he'll be 70% owned, and some he's 20. So for me, that 35% line is where it's like, okay, he's owned.
I'd be surprised
in a lot of leagues.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd be surprised if there was a service where he's over 55%.
There's one that he's in the 50s.
Okay.
I pulled the number for that, but now I don't have it because
Again, that's pretty surprising to me.
I'll tell you another one. Break down the tight end target share for the Cleveland Browns.
Tight end target share.
There were 10.
Browns.
Who got what?
Let's see. I would say Austin Hooper got 5.
Too high.
3.
Austin Hooper got 3.
Njoku got 5.
And Njoku got 5.
Yeah.
And Harrison Bryant got 2.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you should run out to go get David Njoku. I'm just saying it's a guy that you should keep an eye on. Because they have apparently had their big group hug and mended their fences, and now everybody's hunky-dunky, and David Njoku has a role in that offense.
I did see that Njoku got the majority of the targets and went, see, you're trying to suck me into this thing, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to buy into believing that David Njoku is a thing again and then be left out in the cold when it ends up being Austin Hooper and Harrison Bryant again. Is that right, Harrison Bryant?
Harrison Bryant.
Yeah, okay.
I could see a path moving forward that Austin Hooper's not on his team next year. So I could see this being Harrison Bryant's job with Njoku as the 2. Can't believe I'm saying that after he was literally a trade target for 2 years. But in terms of tight end, that's where I'm at, especially for this week. If I can go get Cole Kmet, I don't have to worry about tight end anymore.
Right.
Is it going to be Bootsy? Yeah, but he's the only tight end 1 you're going to get your hands on. Unless somebody gets hurt.
Juwan Johnson.
I'm out. Can't block. Yes, he scored. Yay.
Didn't he score twice?
He did.
Yeah.
I think. Did he score?
I believe he did. I believe he had 2 touchdowns this week. And
yeah, here's another fun stat about Juwan Johnson. How many snaps did he play?
27.
12. He played 12.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm good on Juwan Johnson. You can somebody in your league will do that too.
Yes, they will.
Somebody will piss their pants and go, Juwan Johnson had 2 touchdowns. I gotta go get him. He's a tight end 1.
Right.
Adam Troutman played 85% of the snaps. He's the tight end you want in New Orleans. It was a fluke. It was a fluke, and it will continue to be a fluke. I would say Juwan Johnson's snap share goes up. Here's the thing. He couldn't block me. So a team that is a predominant running team, and I'll be honest with you, from now on, when teams see Juwan Johnson lined up, they're going to go, oink. I have a feeling I know what this is about to be.
Support for the Sportsocracy, as always, brought to you by Manscaped. Check out our friends at manscaped.com. Use our promo code Sportsocracy. Save 20% on your purchase and get free worldwide shipping. They have the precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. The Lawnmower 4.0 has the advanced skin-safe technology, that ceramic blade, and the guards as well. help help guard you against any accidents that you may have in the bathroom. I mean, how many times have you had to try to stop the bleeding from that? If you've ever done that, you know that you're going to be there for a while. Not only is it the safest way to do it, but it's also it's going to save you a lot of time. It'll save you a lot of time or trying to rig up something while you're trying to run out the door. And try not to ruin your underwear as well. If you want to spruce up for the ladies, which is always a grand idea, no matter whether you're single or you're married, obviously Manscaped is the place for you. Get all of your grooming tools for your family jewels at manscaped.com. Use the promo code Sportsocracy. Save 20% on your entire purchase and get free worldwide shipping.
It's always easier to close when you have a slick stick.
Any other tight ends that we need to talk about on the waiver wire this week?
No, but I want to talk about quarterbacks. But before I do that, Adam Black said, for you degenerate gamblers, just got an email in the Champions League. Take Man United 1.5 today. They're going all in against a shit team. He said crap. I said shit. He's a pastor. I'm a degenerate. Just tithe your winnings to your local church. Agreed. 100%. And if you do that, go to sportsocracy.com, click the betus.com link, use our promo code for 125% on your initial deposit. You could bet Adam Black's spicy hot Champions League take with free money. Betus.com, promo code Sportsocracy. And then you can be a degenerate with us every day.
All right, quarterbacks on the waiver wire this week.
They look strikingly similar to my DraftKings order from last week.
I've seen Jameis Winston's name thrown around a lot.
I'm shocked how lowly owned he was.
Why? And with the reputation that Jameis Winston has, why would that surprise you?
Because you still have people like Dan Harris, who does what we do, that has him at 13 among ads this week, which is dumbfounding to me. How you can have 12 guys that you should add that are because their rule is 50%.
He's the 13th quarterback or 13th,
He's 13th
overall?
Player.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's dumb. I have him at 4. But solely because quarterback is not as premium a position and you probably already have a guy. Mm-hmm. If Jameis Winston's available in your league, you should have a claim on him this week.
Okay.
If Sam Darnold is... Let me hold on. Let me see if I can do it exactly the same way I did it the first time. If Sam Darnold is a free agent in your league, you should have a claim on Sam Darnold. Oh, hold on. If Ben Roethlisberger is a free agent in your league, you should have a claim on Ben Roethlisberger this week.
Yeah, to me that would be that's dumb anyway. What's his
Ben Roethlisberger's lower owned than Jameis Winston is. He's going to throw a mess. And guess what? They're both lower owned than Tua Tagovailoa. Stop that. If you have Tua, you should drop him for any of the guys I just said.
Right. Jeez. Justin Fields, I saw him on a couple of lists, and I know that he saw a couple of snaps this past week. I guess everybody's just trying to get ready for when he actually takes over the main job there. But why?
I'm holding Justin Fields in a lot of leagues.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I would think that if you were going to do it, you'd already done it by now. Is he ready to be owned in just standard leagues?
Justin Fields?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
If Justin Fields is available... Hold on. If Justin Fields is available in your league, you should have a waiver claim on Justin Fields this week.
Okay.
And yes, I am doing that way for a reason. You'll see it later today. If you didn't see my Florida State video from yesterday, you should probably check that out. It's on our Facebook page, facebook.com/thesportsocracy. And Instagram and Twitter and all the other social media.
All those things.
You know, there really should be a thing, and there is, but that you can just put it there and it'll share it on everything that exists. I own it and I don't use it.
Why?
Because I'm an idiot.
Oh, okay. I mean, at least you're honest. We can all respect honesty.
I forgot we're drafting a league.
Yeah, we're drafting a league.
Well, I added 2 guys that I didn't even kind of want. Hot. Michael Carter, good Lord, that's not good.
No, you're out on your new running back?
I got him in the 14th round, so it's fine. Hey, you can still take Gus Edwards. He's still on the board. Gus Edwards, value, 14th round. Let's go.
No, I'm good. I'm definitely good on that one. Any other waiver wire pickups to mention?
If you're doing... this is just advice that I give, and I would be remiss if I didn't say this, because somehow somebody still looks at me weird when I don't have a kicker going through the week. Mm-hmm. If you're carrying a kicker and a defense week to week, I'm going to need you to explain that. There are 4 defenses in the NFL that are more than 2 points a game better than the league average. I cut, no matter who I have, like right now I have the Panthers and Daniel Carlson in a lot of places.
Yeah.
That will be who I'm tendering up for waiver wire claims every time. If the claims don't come to fruition, then I might pull them back, but it's still likely I'll drop somebody.
Yeah.
I'll drop them for somebody.
But then later in the week, you have to make that call
and
again.
Somebody ends up out, and if they're out, they can be on IR, or I just make a decision. I did it with A.J. Greene last week. Guess what? Worked out just fine.
Yeah.
He was the last player on my teams universally. I held him. I heard all the camp reports. Rondale Moore's running ahead of him. Rondale Moore's going to have a bigger workload. Christian Kirk's more important than you think. And I dropped A.J. Greene. Mm-hmm. Didn't come back to bite me. I don't carry a kicker in a defense ever. And there's no reason to be really honest with you.
Right. I normally will trade defenses. That's what I do. I trade my defense for the next defense. I'm always streaming defenses.
Rob Johnson said my kicker got more points than Damian Harris. Yep, and there were probably 6 other kickers did that same thing that were sitting on the waiver wire just like, hey, come get me.
Right.
I got Daniel Carlson, the guy that everybody was bitching about last night because, I lost my league to Daniel Carlson, including a guy in a long-time league of mine that lost to me by 0.02 points. That would just piss me right the hell off.
That makes you want to blow your brains out right there. I hate those. I hate those weeks.
By 0.02 points. 151.02 to 151 flat.
And then you lost another one.
I lost another one because of the same kicker. So when Daniel Carlson lined up for that kick in overtime, I was literally sitting there going, if he makes this, now granted they had the delay game, pushed it back 5 yards, and then they just threw a touchdown pass on the next play.
Yep.
If he had made it, I'd have won both. If he missed it, I'd have lost both. Since he didn't kick it, I won one and lost the other by half a point.
Right.
And I was just fine with that. I hate kickers. They're not people. Take them out of your leagues.
I agree. Waiver wire this week, if you're spending up, it's going to be Elijah Mitchell.
No more than 20% of your fab on any player. There's not a guy like that this week. And I'll be honest with you, I'd be remiss. It would be hard for me to go that high. I'd have to have a real need at running back. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a split. I said the same thing about Raheem Mostert. The reason I wouldn't take him in the first 7 rounds, there has never been a top 24 running back on a Kyle Shanahan head coach team in his tenure as a coach with the San Francisco 49ers. Mm-hmm. And there never will be. Because they split up the carries to such a point. You'll see Trey Sherman probably will be up this week. He'll get 8 touches. JaMychal Hasty will get 10, and Elijah Mitchell will get 15.
Yeah.
And you'll take up a roster spot for a guy that has just such a low floor. Ceiling's reasonably high, but the floor's very low.
All right. I think that's going to do it for today's episode. We're winding down the Pro Bowl best ball draft and competitions for a cause. And I have made my last pick, Evan Ingram. He's my last guy. He was the last need that I needed.
There's going to be a lot of good players undrafted in this.
Well, I mean, we are, it is a smaller league.
Yeah, the benches. It's hard. The benches are also a little thin. Best ball's supposed to be much bigger than that. Best ball's like 20 to 25 man rosters.
Really?
We'll fix that for the 2 tonight.
Oh, okay. I looked up what a standard was, and it was 17 players.
Never seen one that had 17 players.
Okay.
Usually it's 20 because you wind up with 3 quarterbacks, 3 tight ends. Now we also don't have kickers, which is a bit of a salvation there. But
yeah, no kickers, no defenses. We went with all flex guys, and I feel pretty good about my team. We'll be doing the other 2 competition for a cause drafts coming up this evening. We got one at 6:30, one at 8:30. If you are in on those, we're going to have some fun this evening in those chat rooms. And we'll see you this afternoon on ESPN Asheville. See you on the radio side, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 locally. Always, everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. You can get us live or on demand. We're on 3 to 5 weekday afternoons on ESPN Asheville, the Sports Tank, with Jeremy Greene. Any other parting thoughts?
Florida State sucks.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's that. We'll be recorded with power rankings in the morning. So we will not be here live in the morning.
Okay.
We've got business things to attend to. But I will be in the comments. I actually have a meeting that I pay only nominal attention to these. I'm more talked to than, or talked at than talked to. So I'll be in the comments making jokes and doing fun shit. But we will be premiering the video at 10 o'clock in the morning for power rankings. So join in on that one. Feel free to chime in the comments, and I'll be throwing a lot more jokes out because I don't have to do 9 things at one time.
Excellent. Like, share, and follow the Sportsocracy on all the social medias. Hit that subscribe button so you know when all of our content comes out, like our next Funny Picks video. Have you decided on a theme for this week?
I've got a couple in mind. I've thought about making Bob Ross just a constant. I don't think I'm going to.
Yeah.
But I very easily foresee me bringing that back
maybe.
out.
He should definitely make an encore later on in the season. No doubt about that. All right, and again, like, share, and follow. Hit the subscribe button. We'll be back here in the Wicked Weed studio tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. WickedWeedBrewing.com. Drink different. We'll see you this afternoon.